and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen, and I'm here with day 29 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And today's sketch is this awesome sketch from Scrappy Adam, and he is on YouTube and Instagram, on Facebook. He's everywhere. He is the brains behind Dottie About Flair, and he is amazing. Here is the sketch up close. And if you have not checked him out and subscribed and watched like every video, you need to do that. He is a more is more. He just got dogs, so he's going to appreciate that I used doggies on his sketch. So I decided to use my dog's pictures, and I used this I Love My Dog by Echo Park. And it was not my original plan to use these pictures, but changed my mind. And then I have these die cuts that I got from my friend Anne Marie, and I made some blue and white snowflakes because my puppy dogs are in the snow. And then I have these Flair, and I don't end up using that green one. The other two are epoxies, and I do use those. And those come from Dottie About Flair, which is Adam's company. And you can find them online, and I think all that stuff will be linked below. And these are the papers I decided to use. This plaid, I really had a struggle. This is the cut apart I want to use in the sketch. It has a journaling spot, and I decided to use a cut apart there. And then I want to use this sticker sheet that came with the I Love My Dog. And I have a ton of stickers that go with the dog theme, but I really wanted to stick mostly with the ones that went with this collection. So it's a half and half page, and I decided to use this plaid on one half, and then I was going to use one of these snowflake, snow folly pictures. This was a piece of paper from Frozen, and I had fussy cut the characters out from a Disney layout. So I still had the snowflake paper. Or this one here that is like a super old Miss Elizabeth's, I think. I don't end up using either one of those, but you'll see that dilemma in a moment. So I've got all of my goodies and these 3 super cute pictures and this amazing sketch. So let's see how this goes. So the first thing I did was try and figure out which one of these papers would go best with this plaid. Okay, should have done this before I started recording you all. So after I look at it, neither one of those really go. So I pull out my other snowflake papers and try and decide which one I want to go with. So I put all my little scraps in this binder clip and go through and try and decide which one of these is going to work best. So I like this one and I like this one. So I set everything else aside and set them next to each other, like on either side. I'm going to set them on either side in just a second. And I'm going to try and figure it out. And if you look at the bottom right hand corner of the screen, you're going to see the one person who picks the paper for me. So I'm debating, and my 13-year-old comes in and quickly picks the one on the right. He said, "Oh, I didn't know you were recording." Heaven forbid your hand gets in there. He's tried to put his face in there plenty of times. Not that I would mind. He's a cute kid. So I also debated on what I want to mat this on, because after I got started, I decided I would make it an 11.5 inch by 11.5 inch and mat it. Even though I kind of could see that maybe it's matted in the sketch. I can't tell for sure, but you know, that's just something that a lot of people do. So I had pulled out that bright blue coordination paper, and it did not work for me. It doesn't look good with this plaid. So I decided I'm going to stick with white and try and figure something out. So these are the snowflakes I cut out on my Big Shot, and I thought that I had enough, but I wasn't taking into consideration that I need something in little clusters at the corners of my pictures. So I end up pulling my Big Shot out and making about 4 or 5 more, but you all don't watch that because, you know, you don't want to take lessons on how to use a Big Shot. For me, I just got it. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, because this blue that I've got the snowflakes made out of is not the same blue in any of this paper. So I'm kind of frustrated, And then I think, you know what? I'm going to map my pictures in that blue. It'll bring the blue in and it'll be fine. So I'm going to do the blue on the right side and then that plaid on the left. And then I decide, nope, I'm going to make blue for all 4 pictures or 3 pictures in the cut apart. And then I'm going to put 2 of the plaid on the left side and 2 of the snowflake on the right side, but all will be matted in that blue. I love how this turned out. I was really, really getting stressed out. I don't know why I didn't cut all that out. I was getting a little, not stressed, but, kind of frustrated. I try not to let scrapbooking stress me out because then it's not fun anymore. But I was just aggravated because I'd already hit record and I'm like, how much am I going to have to edit out of here? So the blue paper is 4 1/4. The snowflake and the plaid paper is 4 inches. And then I trim my pictures that are 4 inches to 3/4 by 3/4. And I cut them in a 4x4 picture on Project Life. And I printed 2 small 2x2s that go next to it. And originally they were all going to go on a layout together because there are more pictures of the dogs in the snow. But because I needed just these 3 or 4 pictures here, I decided that I would use those on another layout. I've got plenty of snow pictures. So 2 of these doggies are mine. One is my Neff Pup Packs. And so I put my dogs on the left side and my Neff Pup Packs. I did it in age order, really. My dog Rocky's at the top and our dog Tinkerbell is below that. And then the little Paxi is over on the side and he's got a nose full of snow. So this was just recently. This happened on the 12th of March. So I get my tumbled glass in my Tim Holtz Distress ink. And even though it's not a bright difference from the blue snowflake paper, it's just enough to make me happy and not have some places on that snowflake paper that disappear into the white background. So that makes me happy. I get that tacked down. And then I decide that I'm going to ink the outside of this plaid as well. And I think that it looks really good in person, especially. I don't know. I guess you'll have to see when we get to the up close. But I love the way that it turned out with the inking. So then I just start building pictures. Oh, wow, you all. Okay. So it is almost midnight. So it's been a long, crazy day. So I get all 4 of those matted, and I did trim. The cut apart was a 3x4, and I cut it to 3 by 3 3/4 so that it would have a little bit of, it would have the same height. It was just a different width, and I'm okay with that. So, and I could have put something up there and decorated around the difference, but I was not going to do that. I really want that to be the attention getter for the title. I mean, obviously you're going to look at the pictures because, they're my dogs. They're so cute. But I do want that True Love Has 4 Paws to be the title. So I use my T-ruler, go me, and get these reasonably even. As even as I get things, and it's only appropriate for it to be a little wonky because Adams says all the time to embrace the wonk, and I fully support that. So if this is a little wonky, it's just in honor of Adam. So I get those down. I look at them to make sure that they are pretty even because the tape runner that I use, you can move it pretty quickly if you take it up. So I am happy with that. So then I start with my snowflakes, and I want to make sure there's a blue one at the top and bottom because that obviously the white is going to disappear into the white paper. So I put a blue one at the top, a blue one at the bottom, and a blue one in the middle, and then go from there. And this is when I realize I'm going to need some more snowflakes because I want them to like overlay on each other because that pattern is so busy that they're laying on. And you can obviously see right through them. I wanted to make sure that I got that a bunch of them on there. So I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning, but the prompt from Dottie About Flair today is 3 or more shapes. So my shapes are circles because I'm using some flair, and I'll use some gemstones that are circular. I have snowflakes, and I have hearts, and I have puppy paws on here too. So, I mean, I guess officially. And then my pictures are squares, so I don't know if that counts, but I have at least 3 shapes. So I am putting down little gemstones from the Paper Studio. I had to think about it for a second. And I put little blue ones in the white snowflake hole, that if they have holes. And I put little white, like, diamond looking ones in the blue. And I really love the way that turns out because it just adds a little extra pop of color in that middle section, as well as the snowflakes that are in the clusters on all 3 of the pictures. So I pull out my hearts, and I have these sticko ones that are just little white hearts. There's lots of like pinks and reds in there, but I don't want that. I am going to bring another little small bit of red in down at the bottom of the page, but only because there is that red heart and the true love has 4 paws. So I want to add a little bit red on the opposite corner too. So I get my gemstones. These are little like pearly hearts, and I put one of those in all 4 clusters. And I have the little white heart in 3 of the clusters where the pictures are, and snowflakes where 3 of them are. And then I have the 2 epoxy puppy love flare on the 2 pictures, the top left and the bottom right. And they have like, the one's got little puppy paws and the other one has like dog bones and paws and doggy bowls. Excuse me. So now I want to do some inking, and I want to use a little bit of blue. So I push my tumbled glass onto a piece of, just a piece of like a sticker sheet that I've used up, and I get it wet with my mister, and then I use a paintbrush and tap out little speckles of it. It's very light, not super bold and bright in your face, but I didn't want anything too dark because the snowflakes and the mat on the pictures is already a pretty bold blue. So I just use this light tumbled glass, and I put that in all 4 clusters. And I'll go back later and maybe off camera and do it in the top one again because there wasn't as much as I thought up there. And then after I get done with that, I get out my Delusions shimmer spray in white linen, and I tap that out in all 4 of the clusters as well. And I really love the way that it looks. And I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out. And then I remember I haven't used my sticker sheet yet, which normally I would have done before the inking process. So that's something that maybe you can learn to not do. So I get the stickers down, and while the ink that I put down, the blue ink, is pretty much dry, the white is still a little wet because shimmer sprays take a little longer. There's that little red heart that I'm tucking in down there to bring the red from the top to the bottom. And so I am just trying to be very careful, and I'm tucking like little hearts or puppy paws in every cluster. So there's a puppy paw and a heart in the bottom left. There's a puppy paw in the bottom right. There's a puppy paw in the top right, and then I put a heart in the top left. And I did put a dog bone, I don't know if you can see it, in right on top of the snowflake in that top left picture, but I'm going to pull that up and put it over in the cluster by the title. And I pull this little blue heart, and that's going to go above the snowflake in the top left. And then I pull the word woof off, and I thought about, there's another one on there that says bark, and I considered pulling that one off too and tucking it up underneath the top picture, but changed my mind. I just tucked this in a little bit under the epoxy flare, and I love the way that this is coming together. I have those blue gemstone hearts that I put in the cluster by the title, And when I'm almost done, I was about to show you all the finished product and realized that the white was not tapped out up here at the top, the white linen. And I wanted it in all 4 clusters. I'm just wiping it off the epoxy right there. And after I get that done, I'm like, okay, I love this. But, you know, the clusters, or that dilution spray and the Distress Oxide sinks into the page. And what I really wanted was a little bit of oomph. So I used my Ranger enamel accents and put 3 dots of white in all 4 of the clusters. And I love that because they're going to stay mostly standing and give it a little dimension and not sink into the page like the Delusion Shimmer Spray will. So here is the sketch again. Please go down below into the description box and hop along. Please check out Scrappy Adams' YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Visit Dottie About Flair's website. They have some amazing flair, and it is so fun to work with. I have used 1 on every layout through 30 days of sketches, and 2 on this one of the epoxies. And they are so fun, and he makes such neat products, and he's got a lot of people that are working with him and collaborating and making a little kits and different things, and it's just a lot of fun. Plus, he is a super cool guy. So I'm glad that you all have hung out with me today in this kind of crazy layout and that I love. And I hope you all come back tomorrow for our very last layout for 30 days of sketches. It has been a blast. Have a great night and happy scrapping.